Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I've been wanting to do this video for a very long time, finally sitting down to do it, and it's going to be a series of how I save. So I've been living out of home since I was 19, I believe. Yes, 19, yeah, that sounds about right. So I left home, packed up my bags, I went to Ballarat for university. After that, I moved to Yarraville, which is on the western side of Melbourne City. And then I moved to Richmond, and now I'm in another area of Melbourne in like the eastern part of the city area still. So yeah, I think I have a little bit of experience on how to save because I've been living out of home for so long, and people are always asking me how I do it, how I still go out, how I pay bills, how to budget, and I thought, why not make a series about it? Because I think, you know, maybe in America they have videos, in England, but I've never seen a how to save for Melbourne and a sort of real one. Like, I'm happy to talk about how much I paid for rent in the different areas, bills, how much I was earning at the time. Like, I literally have no filter. I love giving advice, and I seem to be doing this one a lot, and I love it, and I love helping people with this kind of thing because I'm so frugal, it's ridiculous. Yeah, so I managed to save to live at home. I've been able to go on trips overseas and things like that. So no means like at all a financial expert, but yeah, I think that I'm okay at saving and people ask me about it. So you know what? I'm gonna share it with you, world, YouTube, you know. So yeah, I'm not sure how this video is gonna go in terms of different segments. I guess I want to touch base on the different areas and the price ranges and things that people want to know. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, this is going to be a series called SashSays, as you can tell by the title of the video. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's get right into it. So yeah, last night at work actually, I was talking to a co-worker, Bianca, shout out to you, gorgeous girl, and she wants to move out with her boyfriend next year. And I guess, like everyone, there's a bit of uncertainty about how much everything's gonna cost. Can I afford it? The good thing about being in a partnership is you get to share things, like share bills. If you're in a share house but share the same room, you share rent, things like that. Bianca literally wrote questions down for me, which is really sweet because I asked her to, but also she wants to know them, so I'm gonna help answer them. So the first question she's asked me is, how do you still go out and have a good time without blowing all your money? Okay, so this is a hard one for me because lo and behold, I know everyone knows this, but I am literally a grandma. I don't go out that much. Like, I don't really do anything, so that helps. Guys, like, it's okay, I'm not a loser. Like, it's all right. I choose to not go out. I don't know, like, I think bringing it back to Ballarat, I partied a lot. Like, I drank, I went out, but the thing is that we all lived out of home, we all lived in Ballarat, we all had house parties, so that saved on cost. And you could basically walk most places or get a taxi. Uber wasn't around then, I know, ancient. And you could split the fare and you just bring your own drinks, and that saves, because the markup in Australia, like for people who aren't in Australia watching this, drink prices here are ridiculous. Like, my parents can't even fathom how much we pay when we go out to drink. So just say if I go out, I'll probably have, you know, a few shots and a few mixed drinks. A mixed drink is like, the cheapest you'll get is like $7. Sometimes there's a happy hour and you'll get like $5 drinks, but that is rare, and it's usually beer, which I don't really like. So yeah, drinking is expensive. We all know that in Australia. So yeah, like wine, if you went out to dinner, $9 is like the cheapest glass of wine you'll get. Whereas you could go to Dan Murphy's, which is a liquor store, which is quite reasonable, and you get a whole bottle of wine for like $7. You know, like, that's how you can save with going out, is pre-drink, hard but not too hard. Also, especially living up in the city area, which is great, I can get a tram, I can get a train, or I drive to a club and don't drink. I'm not even joking, I do that. With a Lenny, shout out. because I just love to dance. So in that regard, over the past few years, I've saved with doing that. So I just, yeah, go out and there's no entry to the places that I go to, or I'll just go to a bar, or yeah, have one drink out, but yeah, obviously pre-drink and then go, or like just have drinks at your house, because now if you're living out of home, you've got your own house, you can invite people over and they can bring a plate, and that's how you can save, having like little gatherings. But yeah, I guess that's one way I save. What else? Blowing all your money. Yeah, like just be mindful if you're living, you know, an hour away from the city, you can't get an Uber, so maybe get the train in, or see if you can stay up with someone in the city for the night, or do an all-nighter and get the first train home, or I don't know, just try and plan ahead. I like to organize, so yeah, I guess I would just plan ahead for going out. And yeah, if you're gonna have a big one, budget for that. So if you get your paycheck, you think, oh, okay, this weekend I've got 2 21sts, or I've got a 30th, or a hen's party. How can I break that down over the week? I'll just not have my coffees out for the week. Or, you know, I won't do anything else social, I guess, in the weekdays. Like I won't go out to dinner or anything like that. I'll just cook at home. And then on the weekends, you know, have a budget of like $100 or $150 for like that night. Okay. What's your go-to plan for when you get paid? How do you not feel overwhelmed? And what she means by that is you get, you know, a lump sum of money straight away in your account. How do you not want to, I guess, spend it all at once? And how do you think, okay, I've got X amount of money, how can I budget that for the week? So with the job I have at the moment, I'm working full-time and it's fortnightly payments. So my monthly rent for this home that I'm in is monthly. The home that I'm staying in right now is monthly rent. So I know what date I'm paying rent, and I know that that is most of my paycheck for the 2 weeks. So out of the 4 weeks in a month, I get 2 paychecks. So just say my rent is, like I paid rent on like the 8th of the month. So around, I guess, more than half of the rent is paid with my first paycheck. So I've got the rest of, you know, the other paycheck for myself and for bills. So in the house I'm living with now, it's shared with 4 people. So electricity, gas, water and internet is split between 4 people, which is great. Whereas living in Richmond with my partner at the time, it was split between 2 people. So rent wasn't as expensive, which is good. But then I guess bills are a bit more expensive because it was only shared between 2 people. So yeah, I guess I kind of look at it, I don't spend more than $100. I try to keep it $100 maximum on all my groceries, all meat, everything. And sometimes that's, you know, maybe $50 that week and $100 the next week because I don't need to buy meat. Like meat is really expensive, and the most expensive thing I buy in terms of groceries, but I don't eat out as well. So I make my lunch every day for work. So I sort of budget on that. Yeah, I guess it's great to have that constant cash flow, I guess, of having a full-time job. I know that all my other houses I was living in, I wasn't really working full-time. Like the theatre job that I had was technically full-time, but over the holidays I didn't work and I didn't get paid. So that was a struggle. So I literally by the end of that year had no savings, hence why my partner had to move in at the end of that year to help me out with rent, and it was paid per show. So whereas this job, it's constant and you get sick leave and things like that, which is amazing. And I'm still like shook that you can leave, like be home sick and get paid. It's amazing. The stability, woo! So yeah, casual work as well. Like over Christmas, you can be like banging out like $1,000 a week from working a retail job over Chrissy because you're just getting shifts all the time. But then into the new year, you don't get many shifts and it's dead. Bring it back to Bianca's question, because I tend to waffle on a bit because I get excited talking about this kind of stuff. So I have certain things that it just becomes routine. So luckily with a full-time job, it is the same amount of pay a fortnight, and I know what I'm paying for each month. Like nothing has really changed since living in this home that I'm in at the moment in terms of what I pay for. So it's, yeah, electricity, gas, internet, water, which is like quarterly, rent, So that's those bills. Then it's my phone bill. Petrol is a lot. Groceries, and probably 1 or 2 social things a week. So it seems like a lot of things, but it's not every week that you have to pay for the internet. It's not every week that you pay for water. Like water's only like 20 bucks if you think about like split between 4 people. It's really not that much, which is quite good. So yeah, okay, so this is sort of coming off the other question, which is how to prep yourself for bills and then saving as well. So I put little goals to myself, and I have 3 different accounts in my bank as well. So I have one that I can take like where my money goes, and then from that I filter it into 2 other accounts. So I've got a Progress, I'm with ANZ Bank, so that's what they have. So the Progress Saver, if you take money out, you lose interest for the month. So I put $50 in that every month. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but in that way, I'm always putting a little bit away. And it doesn't just have like 100 bucks in it. It's got a few thousand just like chill on there. And then the one above it, I have the majority of the money that I can take to and fro, because I'm really paranoid. I don't like having money on my card because I'm like, what if someone steals it and just taps and goes everything? Like tap and goes, just pay pass, which I'm not sure if everyone in the world has, but you basically just tap your bank card. You don't have to put a pin in, it just goes. It's amazing. It's also dangerous if you like to spend, or if someone takes your card and they can just keep tapping and going all your money away. So I'm paranoid, so I only have like 100 bucks in my card maximum at all times, so the rest of the money goes into the second account. Anyway, so saving, it just takes a long time. So I had savings before I started working full time. I had savings when I lived in Ballarat. Like it's hard. So to give you a little bit of history about me, I started working as soon as I could work. There was a wanted deli assistant sign at Richie's Super IGA Mount Eliza, and I worked there from 15 to, not just in the deli, I moved into checkout chick and, all that fun stuff, up until, when I was at Deakin for the year in 2011. So I worked for a long period of time, and when I could drive, I added pizza delivery chick as well into that mix, which I didn't really make any money from that. That was a bit of a rip-off. So yeah, I had that job for a long time. So when I left high school, I had savings and I could spend my own money to go to the movies and things like that. While I was living at home, my parents were paying for everything, which was lucky. So I could save. So when I left school, I went to Deakin University for the first year. So I drove from the peninsula to Burwood, which is a 45-minute drive. So of course, petrol and things like that. I was still living at home, so I could save. So the money that I was making from Richie's, working and at uni, I was saving because I didn't really hang back and do social things at uni because I just didn't do it, and it was so far away, so I just wanted to get home. Yeah, breaking it down in Ballarat, I lived with 4 people. Bills are split between the 4. Rent was a lot cheaper. So Ballarat is an hour and a half out of Melbourne, I guess, north, south, like west. So regional area, a lot cheaper, and yeah, I had a beautiful, huge room, and it was only $100 a week. So yeah, flashback to Richmond, I guess. Let's talk about Richmond to compare. So that rent was $6.95 a month for me, plus my partner had to pay that as well. So yeah, it was like $160 something a week, and that was a house that was tiny, no backyard, no garage, no driveway, things like that. You had to park on the street, you had to get a permit, things like that. So $100 went a long way in Ballarat, but obviously I'm not wanting to live there, or there's not much for me in a regional area, so yeah, had to move to the city and pay more, which makes sense. So yeah, living in Ballarat, yeah, as I was saying, in the first 2 years I was getting around $280, I guess, a fortnight by the looks of my statements. Yeah, so that within that it fluctuated over the next few months. It goes up to $380. I think just because they realized that I wasn't making any more money. So in that second year of university, I didn't work. I only worked when I went back home to the peninsula, where I worked at a jewelry shop over the Christmas peak period. So So then obviously Centrelink goes down because you report how much you earn and they base it off that. So when I went back home for just say October, November, December, January, so 4 months really, give or take, I was living back at home. I was still paying rent for the property in Ballarat, but nothing else because no one was living there, if that makes any sense. So that helped me save. Yeah, so the first year of uni, like in Ballarat, I didn't work. The second year, I didn't work either. The third year, I started working at a restaurant. There was, the restaurant had 2 parts to it, which is really weird. There was a Japanese restaurant and a steakhouse owned by the same people, really weird. So I worked there and that was weekly payments and I still got Centrelink. So then I could save a little bit more. Within those times, I was able to save a trip and go to New York, Germany, and England. And I went to Europe as well in my first year at Ballarat. So yeah, I was able to go overseas and save and still live out of home, which is great. So then, yeah, when I moved back home to the peninsula again, I worked over that sort of Christmas period before getting a job straight away in February with a theatre company. And then that payment was kind of sporadic. They pay around like $90 per show. For Shakespeare and a bit less, I think, for kids shows, and that was supposed to be 3 shows a day, but of course sometimes it wasn't. I got given a car to drive around the state to do shows, and then I was living in Yarraville, so rent was a little bit more expensive, and it was getting back to reality, I guess, of, oh, I'm living in the city now, I have to pay more rent. But yeah, like, I guess bills would be around $50 for certain things, and yeah, that was kind of the Ballarat time and the Yarraville time. Richmond was a little bit more expensive in terms of bills. I think electricity every 2 months is around 120 maybe, but I was really frugal, like turn things off at the power point, don't leave lights on that you don't need to. All my bulbs in like my lamps and things like that are all power saving ones. I got all this from my parents. So my parents taught me to be really frugal very early on. I'm not sure where I get the real like must save thing from, but I just act like I don't have any money, and that kind of works for me sometimes, by not spending and splurging. I never really buy clothes. I still have the same stuff that I've worn for years. And yeah, like, I don't know, I just saved. How to make the hard decision between need and want. Okay, so it's so hard. So my biggest thing that I buy is food. All my money goes on food. Literally during the week, my grocery bill will be $90, and I wouldn't have spent any money on anything else for that week. So I wouldn't have gone, like, I work in a center, so I don't go past shops and I'm like, I must buy that, which is great. Like, I'm not a shopper, which helps. I know that people love to shop, and I guess for shoppers out there who love to buy things and treat themselves, which is amazing, and you are working hard and getting money and you want to do that, I would wait for sales. I would, if you have a staff discount, use it, which I luckily do for a clothing store. Yeah, I guess just between need and want, I guess I was shopping with my best friend Amy the other day, and we were trying on things that looked really cute, like looked cute on her, and I said, you've got a few things that look like that, I know you do. And that made her go like, oh, I do, I don't need it. Okay, and she put it back. So shopping with a friend who can be that friend for you, that's a good tip. So if you're by yourself, you're sort of like, oh, like me in the supermarket when I'm hungry, I'm like, I need that, I want Doritos, I want that. Like, you want everything. And I guess that's the way for shoppers, with clothes or games or whatever you like to buy for yourself. So kind of think, do I have anything similar? Do I really need this? Is it for an event? Do I have something else that no one has seen yet? So that's the thing with me. I find with Instagram and Facebook and social media, it's weird. Like, you don't want to wear something that someone's already seen on you. And it's so weird to think like that, but it's true. Like, you don't want to outfit repeat because people might think that you don't have any other clothes, or wow, she's already worn that jumpsuit in a photo. Wow, like she doesn't have anything else to wear. And you think like I think like that sometimes. I know that my friends do, and it's ridiculous because who can afford a $100 outfit here and there? I know I can't. So I try and mix and match pieces as well. I get a few basic tops, change accessories, hair, bags, makeup, and that's a cheaper way of doing it. Or just don't take photos or avoid photos for the night, so then you can wear the outfit again if you feel like that. Or yeah, like treat yourself by getting a new lipstick or something that's a bit cheaper than a whole new outfit. Or just don't go and get designer brands that are expensive. There are a few stores that the quality of the clothing might not be as good, but you're gonna get, I guess, a few more wears out of it. If you've got, you know, a $50 budget, you can get 2 tops, 2 skirts and mix and match, and you've got a few different outfits, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I guess that's making the hard decision. When I go out to breakfast, I want all the sides, and I spend like $30 on breakfast. So I'm trying to be better. I'm saying, let's just go out for coffee, because I just get 1 coffee or 2 coffees, usually 1 coffee, and then I don't have to spend that $30 on lunch, which I could have bought something that'll last longer. When you think about it, you eat food and it's gone, but it's so good at the time, so I spend my money on food. Sorting out who you need to pay back, handling loans. So I have a massive fear, like I actually hate, like I feel really weird about owing people money or owing people anything. I have to either like keep reminding them to pay me back or they pay me back. I feel really weird with friends and money. I just feel odd. Like obviously if someone called me up, like I really need $100, I just need it and I'll pay you back, I'll give it to them if they were struggling. I don't think that's ever happened to me, but if it did, I would. And I want to help out my friends, of course, but if I asked that of someone, I would constantly be like, oh, I have to pay them back straight away. I feel really sick because I don't know, like I know some people give you things like, no, don't worry about it, just like you have it. But I can't be like that. Like if someone shouts me a coffee, I'm like, oh my God, I have to get you something. Or, oh, okay, like thank you, but I'm gonna pay you back straight away. Or if it's like, I don't know, that's just me. And I know a lot of people aren't like that. And they are just really generous. And unfortunately, I'm very frugal and I'm really conscious of where my money is going. And I like to be even. So when I was with my partner, we'd mainly split things, and if he shouted me something, I'd be like, oh, I kind of feel like I have to shout you something. I don't know. I know that everyone's different with that kind of thing. So I guess I could say to you, Bianca, with loans, just write down somewhere that you'll see it, like I've got a calendar there or in your diary, how much you lent them or how much you have gotten from someone, the date, and when your next pay is to pay them back, or in increments. So I think once, like I think Dad lent me money once and I broke it down over, yeah, I think he paid for my car rego. So I broke that over a few paychecks just so it wouldn't be a lump sum all at once. And that made me feel better about being like, okay, well, like it's $800, it's a lot of money. And yeah, car rego, I feel you for everyone, it's a lot of money. And cars are expensive, just put it out there. So that lump sum, if that was just taken out, that is like, you know, that feels like so much for me all at once. So I was able to break it down over a few weeks. I was able to break it down over a few weeks, and that made me feel better about the loan, I guess, because it wasn't all at once. And I know that if you get a speeding fine, not that I have, touch wood, there's no wood, so I'll touch my head. So if you get fines or like tickets or things like that, you can ask them to break it down because no one has money like that. Like some people do, but it's not feasible for some people to just pay a fine just straight out. So yeah, I guess if you, even with your partner, if you owe them money or something like that, just make a note of it so you don't forget, and so you know what has occurred. I think this works for a lot of different occasions. You don't want to misquote someone, you don't want to get something wrong. I screenshot bills that I've sent people or transfers, just say like it was a cash only place and I paid cash. I'll keep the receipt from the restaurant, and just text my bank details to someone to be like, hey, this is the receipt, so you've got the proof, you're not just making up with a random amount. So it's all honest and fair. I tend to do something like that. Bills, so a guy that I live with here, I send him my money for the rent that he pays as for the household. So I screenshot all of those just in case it comes back. So I can be like, I paid it on this day. If there's an issue with my bank or his bank or anything in the, you know, the transfer world of banks, I have that proof and I save it onto my computer, it's there. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Okay guys, so apologies about this video. It's sort of all over the place. It turned into more of answering all of Bianca's Q&A, which was great. But I think I want to spread it out into more of each place that I lived at and different areas. So that's where you guys come in. If you have any questions about something specific, I'll cover specific topics. I'll try to next time. I'm sorry for waffling on for so long. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you learned something about the cost of living in Melbourne and my sort of story with my jobs and money and things like that. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. It really supports my channel, and hit the subscribe button for more videos like this and other vlogs and lifestyle. And I'll see you guys all in my next video. Bye.